Hi everyone, this is Books and Finances, and today I'm going to be doing my kind of like book challenge. This is a challenge that Norelis and I created the beginning of January, so it has come a long way, you guys, and this was inspired for us to read more books. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I just love, you know, kind of escaping in a book out of reality, and just it's great. It's kind of like when you binge watch a show on, you know, a streaming service. So anyways, I had a really good reading month for the month of November. I was really, you know, just in my game because I have a lot of physical books in my TBR cart and then I keep buying more because of course new books come out and I want to read them and I want to have them. So I'm really trying to work on my physical TBR. So with that said, let's go over all of the books that I read. I'm going to start from the latest book that I read to, yeah, like the most recent to the whatever, okay? All right, so this one is Caught Up by Navessa Allen, and this is a dark romance. Okay, when I mean dark, I mean there is trigger warnings in here. Pretty much it's a mafia guy and this, I want to say like sex worker. They had a thing back in high school. 10 years later they reconnect, and it's just, you know, there's love, there's obsession, there's crime, there's sex. Like it's a good book. This is actually the second book from, I guess, this series, you can call it. And if you like dark romance, or if you want to venture out into dark romance, definitely read the trigger warnings, but I really did enjoy it. They also have this book available on Spotify. I just do like, I have the free version of Spotify, so I have like commercials, but when you do audiobooks on Spotify, there is no commercials. So yeah, you can get it there if you want to listen to it. I actually was immersive reading, and immersive reading is when you're listening to the audiobook and also reading the physical book at the same time. I just feel like sometimes I can grasp more of what's going on. I can understand and I don't forget. So I did do that with this book sometimes, and then most of the time I was doing audiobook while I was like, you know, doing other stuff. So anyways, this was a pretty good book. I rated it 4 stars. The next one that I read is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Now this was a book club pick. I am in a book club here that's local, and this was our book club pick. I was annotating it and then I just kind of stopped. But I really enjoyed this book. There is a bit of like fantasy. It's kind of like a fantasy romance, just because there is a vampire and a werewolf, kind of like Twilight. So I did enjoy it. I gave this a 4.5 star, and I know that the second book came out called Mate, so I will definitely read that for the month of December. Now the other book that I read is called Martyr. This is by a new author. I actually got this from a library book sale that they had, but this was a really good novel. At first I was kind of getting a little lost in the narrative because there's quite a few point of views, and there's like past, present, but overall, like once you really get to it, it's such a good book. Pretty much Cyrus is a young, newly sober Iranian American poet, and he is, you know, dealing with the loss of his mother and his family's like past in Iran and all that stuff. So apparently, like, I don't know, I don't want to spoil the book, but he becomes obsessed with martyrdom. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know how to pronounce it. And he wants to write a book about it. So he ends up, like, a friend of his ends up referring him like, hey, there's this artist staying at the museum. She's, you know, dying from cancer. Why don't you go and, you know, interview her and then maybe get some inspiration on your book? And sure enough, he does. And throughout the whole story, like he's there's a lot of past stuff that comes up where you're able to kind of understand how his life was and him, why he struggled, and you know, with his addiction and his sexual preference, and you know, just like his sexual identity. And honestly, like, give this book a chance. I know in the beginning for me it was really hard because I'm like, what is going on, like, but as I read it, this was a good book. It's also a National Book Award finalist. A lot of people really liked this. Like, it has really, really good reviews. And I think this is one of those books that I'm always going to remember because it's so unique. And again, I gave this book a 5 stars because I did like it. Actually, I gave it like a 4.75 just because, again, you really have to like pay attention and read. Because again, it goes back and forth in the past and different point of views. All right. The next book that I read is Problematic Summer Romance by Hazelwood. Now, I really wanted to like this book. I love Hazelwood. I really do. However, I just did not like the trope and like just the repetitiveness of the story. Pretty much this book is about this girl. Her name is Maya. I believe she's like in her early 20s, like 23 maybe. And then she ends up like having a big crush on her brother's best friend, who's like, I think 14 years older than her. So let's say 38. I think he's 38 in the story. And yeah, they go to like a destination wedding because her brother's getting married, and you know, she bumps into her brother's best friend because, you know, they had a thing before the wedding. They had a thing prior to the wedding, like 3 years prior to attending this wedding, and it just ended, and like they were not in speaking terms. And then so yeah, they reconnect at this I think it's in Italy, and you know, just flirting, a lot of back and forth, a lot of the reason why I say a lot of repetitiveness is because they avoid each other. Mostly the male, the MMC, the male main character, he keeps avoiding her, and the excuse keeps saying the age gap, there's an age difference. And it was just getting so annoying that I'm like, okay, dude, like, I get it. Like, you're older, you know, you're either gonna go all in, or you're gonna have some fun, or you're just gonna leave it at that, you know. But it was just like annoying. I just want to be like, you know. The girl, the female main character, Maya, she was pretty funny. I liked her personality, but also she is young in the story. Again, she's like 22, 23. So yeah. And I read this book because it got ruined in my TBR cart, and I was like, oh no, I cannot have this in my TBR cart. It needs to go to my red shelf. So anyways, so there goes that. The next book that I read is The Only Survivors by Miranda. Okay, so this is the second book that I read from this author, and it's a mystery thriller. It's kind of like one of those whodunit type of stories. It's about a group of individuals who they were in high school. There was a crash involved. People died, and they're saying that eventually someone from that group was the one that caused the crash and stabbed somebody. Okay, so anyways, so they reunite every year in this like cabin, wood, beachy area. I have no idea, but they reunite every year as a memorial of the incident that happened, the people who passed away, and all of that stuff. But secrets start happening, like secrets start surfacing, I mean, and they figure out that someone was actually that caused that, and they're trying to figure out who it was and why and all of that stuff. It was an okay story. I was not really like, it was not a page turner for me. It was a little bit boring, and I just gave this a 3 stars. All right, the next one from Miranda. This is actually the first book that I read from her, You Belong Here. This one was also okay. This one is about, it's also a thriller. So this is about like a mother and a daughter. So the mother had gone through like a past college incident and the university that she was going to. Things happened and she ended up leaving the university because they blamed her for like a fire that had happened. So, you know, a decade or two later, she has a daughter who is now going to attend this university that she attended. And her mother was definitely like, no, I don't want you to go. Why don't you apply somewhere else? And the daughter was really like, I want to go to this college. I want to go here. So anyway, she packs her. They, you know, she's staying at the dorm. And then all of a sudden the daughter just goes MIA. She doesn't hear from her, like what's going on. So the mother drives to the campus trying to look for her. Nobody knows. Her phone is missing. Anyways, a few days later, the daughter resurfaces and she was lost in the woods. And then things start happening at the campus. There's another fire. Somebody passed away. And it's just like, yeah, definitely a thriller. Again, it wasn't a page turner for me. I did continue reading it because I wanted to know what was going to happen. There was a little bit of a plot twist, but nothing like, oh my goodness. And yeah, so if you read it, let me know your thoughts. But I honestly was on the fence about it. I did give it a 3.5 stars. All right. The next book that I read is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. Now, this is her third book in like kind of like a series that she has. And this one is about this billionaire guy. What's his name? I forgot his name. But he's like a tech guy, Maverick. And he has tons of money. And then he bumps into Hendrix, who is very a successful like entertainer. She's in the acting industry and all that stuff. So anyways, they cross roads, and Maverick had just ended a relationship, and I think he had only been single for like 3 months, and then they started hooking up and developing feelings and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it was a good book. I like that Kennedy Ryan does, you know, introduce some mental health awareness in her books. They talked a lot about parents with what's it called? Oh, dementia. Okay, so they she talked about being, you know, how they were caregivers to their parents or loved ones who were dealing with dementia. And I did like that. I didn't really love the love story behind this. I didn't like how it developed. I was a little like, I think because personally, I was judging as I read this. I was like, Hendrix, like, girl, he just got out of a relationship and you're over here humping this man. Like, come on now. And then she's your partner in this new like show that they're gonna produce. So I was a little like, eh. And then also the guy, like, Maverick, come on, dude. You just ended your relationship with this girl who is absolutely in love with you. And all she wanted was a child that you didn't want to give her. And that's why the relationship ended. But I was, that kind of like irked me a little bit, because I just didn't like how the love story like came about, you know? But other than that, it was a pretty good book. I did rate this a 4 stars. Finally, the last book that I read, which was the first book that I read for the month of November, is Lights Out. This is from Navessa Allen, also from the Caught Up book. This is the first one in that series, and I actually really did enjoy this one, which is why I decided to get Caught Up. Again, dark romance, really, really dark. There's a little bit of a thriller in this one. Pretty much a masked man who likes to show, you know, make videos on the internet, and the main character, she is obsessed with him. There's a little bit of stalker stuff going on. Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. I did give this a 4 stars. All right, so these are all the books that I read. Oh my goodness, so many books, and it was great. It was great. I'm really excited for December. So let's do our 100 book challenge. Each book that I read is $2. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's $16 that I'm going to save, and 8 of these icons that I'm going to color. So this is great. I want to see if I'm able to complete the 100 challenge, book challenge. And I set myself this goal. And I don't think I've ever read 100 books. So this is going to be the first time that I do this. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and we're gonna add $16. I do have the money here to the side. So 10, 15, and 16. So that'll be for the 100 book challenge. And then let's move on to the quarter challenge. Okay, so here's quarter 4. And I have already written down the books that I read. So we're just going to color this. And for each one is $5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, $40. I don't think I have $40. I'm going to have an IOU in this one. Because I don't think I budgeted 40 bucks. But let me know how your reading has been going for the year. If you are a reader or if you're barely starting, I always do this. Look at that. That was a huge one. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, let me know. And what books did you read for the month of November that you really enjoyed? What books did you not like? Maybe you didn't even finish a book. Yeah, let me know. Or what books do you recommend? I'm always looking for recs. I am part of like Fable book club pick. Oh my goodness, speaking of Fable, for the month of November we picked a book called Fall I Want. I started reading it, but I did not finish it. I did not. So if I'm being honest, to those that are part of the Fable book club, sorry I didn't finish it, but I will finish it the beginning of December. Wait a minute, I still have more to color. Why am I over here calling it quits? Trying to figure out which markers I haven't used. We'll do a green. Okay, great. So let's see if I have $40. I really doubt it. Put these markers back. Okay, so I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Oh, wait, I do have 40. Hold up, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yes. Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Awesome. Okay, so $40 for quarter 4 and $16. Right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, great. Let me get my binder because I forgot to get that. Okay, here is the binder where I store the reading stuff. Here's the 100 book challenge. So let's add the $16. And I do have some prop money here because I don't like the money here. And I did spend it. I spent it. I probably bought more books. All right, so 100, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. $158. Yeah, but I just kept the prop money in here just to kind of, you know, keep track. All right, and then this is the quarterly savings. This one I do unstuff at the end of every quarter. And yeah, so we have 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $75. That is awesome. Oh my goodness. All right. So yeah, I'm excited for December. I still have to figure out what books I want to read. I am a mood reader. Like I'll have like a pile of books that I want to read for the month, but then something comes up, a new release, or I don't know, I'm not in the mood for romance, I'm in the mood for a thriller, you know, so things like that. So it does always change, which is why I don't really post like the books that I want to read for December, because it just changes. But anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to continue this saving series for the month of, or for the year of 2026, but in the meantime, if you've been sticking with me and watching these videos, I truly appreciate you guys, because I know this is not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody's a reader. So yeah, thank you. All right, you guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.